SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None, by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Daily confidential.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning to you. How you doing? You're sweating. I know what you're doing. Walked out the door this morning, it was like walking into a wall of water. I was absolutely stunned when I checked the humidity and saw it was only 90%. I would have guessed 6.5 million. And anyone, any doubter, any hater who would look at you and go, well, it's not possible to have a humidity of 6.5 million, hasn't been outside today. Good grief. And it's been so pleasant for the past few days, but, well, that system down in the Gulf keeps pumping moisture at us, and I'm not complaining about that because heaven knows we needed the precipitation. The water has helped quite a bit. We'll take all we can get. A little bit more in the forecast today, 20% today, less than 20% tonight, 20% again tomorrow, and then back to beautiful clear weather starting actually tomorrow night, going all the way through the weekend, and we're going to cool back off. High today of 89, high tomorrow 86, Thursday 83, Friday 81. You're picking up on the trend here, but that's where it bottoms out. Saturday with a high of 82, which means it is going to be absolutely gorgeous weather on Saturday for the Summit Fall Fest. Sunny skies, a high of 82, and a northeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I don't know who got a hold of the weather people and ordered up a perfect day, but the shipment's coming in Saturday for the big day in Summit. Could not be a better forecast because it's kind of hit or miss. You know, you schedule these things a year in advance and you spend the whole year working, and then you get there and the weather just bites you on the behind. That happens a lot with outdoor festivals. Not this year in Summit, though. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's deal right up top with the news, in case you haven't heard about it. Last night, about 7:30, roughly in that area, a little bit after 7:30, but we're going to say 7:30 for convenience sake. In Whiteacres in McComb, one 19-year-old was killed, another one was injured during a shooting. It happened over around Beach Street, Sedgwick and Beach Streets. The alley between those two. The 19-year-old with a gunshot wound that died from it after they took him to the hospital was in the alley there. The second victim was shot in the leg. A private vehicle took them to the hospital, got airlifted to University Medical Center in Jackson to get treatment. So far, The identities of the two people who were shot have not been released, nor have any details been released. We don't know if they shot each other, if there was a third party involved, we don't know what the situation was yet. There is quite a bit of digging has to be done. What is rock solid for certain is a 19-year-old's dead and another one's in the hospital in Jackson with apparently a fairly serious wound. You don't airlift someone to Jackson just for a flesh wound. So that's a fair assumption to make in this situation. But all we know is a 19-year-old is dead in McComb. Again. We have talked about this so many times. It's getting old. It's gotten old. It's been old for a while. And it just keeps happening. We have a culture that has grown up in the city of McComb and all over the country. It's not just here. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying as picking on McComb. This is basically planet Earth right now, but especially the United States of America. We have a group of people, a group of selfish, self-centered, narcissistic people who believe that they are the main character. The world revolves around them 100%. What they think is all that matters. And that leads to these kind of situations. And I want you to think about that. I want you to process that because that's exactly what's going on here. Getting into gangs, well, it's about me. That's what they think. That's what they're told. It's all about you. Getting into drugs, all about me. Getting into robbery, all about me. Having a disagreement and shooting the other guy because, well, this is all about me. Who do you think you are? That is the prevalent attitude that has taken hold in several generations in America. And until we get that under control, well, it's not going to improve because you can arrest all you want. There's another group right behind them just waiting. We don't have the jail space to arrest everybody. We have to change the way people look at life. I'm sorry, when you shoot someone else for whatever reason, if they're attacking you and you shoot them and kill them, you were doing nothing, you were minding your own business, that's a different subject. If you have some kind of altercation in a dark alley after the sun goes down on a Monday night, and one person gets dead and the other one gets injured, there's a pretty severe attitude problem. And everyone tries to boil it down to not knowing right from wrong. It's a little more nuanced than that. Let me explain why. And why am I bothering to explain this? Because until you understand a problem, you can't fix it. It's a little more nuanced than knowing right from wrong. They feel like they do. In their head, which is all that counts when you're talking about someone with a gun ready to pull the trigger, it's what's going on between their ears that matters in that moment. What thought process led them to that point? And in that moment, if they're thinking, if it's not just instinctual, but they more than likely wouldn't have been in the situation where it became necessary if they were operating solely on instinct. What they're doing, the way they're acting, the way they're behaving, the things that they are doing and committing, in their head, is the right thing to do. In the world that they have chosen for themselves, mentally, they're right and the other guy's wrong. They're right and you're wrong. Now, you and I both know that's bull. That's not true. That's easily proven to be false. But looking at them and going, "You're wrong," changes nothing. You're arguing like a 2-year-old. You see something you don't like, you don't agree with, you start screaming about it. Well, isn't that mature? Good job. That'll fix everything. We have to get at the root of the worldview of these people that have it in their head that it's a good idea to steal somebody else's stuff, to shoot people, to be involved in all of this criminal activity. They think that's normal. It's a cultural problem across all of America, and we have to work on figuring out a solution to that. Lock them up. We don't have the jail space to lock them all up. We don't. It is a simple physical problem. We don't have the beds. We don't have the room. You can stack them up like firewood, and we don't have the room to incarcerate every single criminal out there all at once. So now what? If that's the only argument that we have to bring to the table, we don't have an argument. Does that help? Yes. Well, you lock one up. He's not committing any more crimes. And this is not an argument to not lock up people, to not put people in jail because they have done something wrong. No, far from it. You mess up, you go away. You go bye-bye. No problem with that. I'm just saying that's a very simplistic proposed solution. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. For a county that raised holy heck about a tax increase to build a new jail to house more people being locked up, I ain't doing that. You sure are shouting for more people to be locked up. Pick a lane. It costs money. You have to invest. If you don't, well, we have limits. Once those limits are hit, and as you know, you've seen the reports, we went for quite a while in Pike County where the Pike County Jail was over the population limits. We had more people in there than it could hold as it was, and everybody is prancing around. You need to lock them all up. Where? You got a shed in the backyard we could use? So this will continue until we stop screaming the low IQ 2-year-old version of, but I don't wanna, and start having the hard conversations, and that means everybody. And if you don't feel qualified to participate in that conversation, you shouldn't be screaming any advice at all. Yes, I know that this has all the hallmarks. We have absolutely no information that this is true, but sure does look like a gang situation again, doesn't it? Yeah, they're a problem. So what are we going to do about it without screaming the phrase, lock them all up? What else you got? Is that it? Is that all you got? Well, you're not very helpful then. And I say that because, again, we were locking them up to the point to where we had more in jail than we had room in the jail to put them. Did it get better? Right. So we need to come up with some slightly more nuanced ideas on how to deal with this. And the only effective way to deal with it is at the root. How did we get here? How did we wind up at this spot? And how do we change it? It may be too late for this generation, the current 19-year-olds that are involved in criminal activity. Might be too late. I am a firm believer that everybody can change. I'm also a firm believer that most people won't. Some do. Most people won't. So you got to get at the previous generations and try to ride out the storm until they get to that age. So what are we doing? Just my thought on that. All I know for sure is another 19-year-old dead, possibly at the hands of a separate 19-year-old. And I don't know, maybe somebody else involved, maybe not. We don't know. We don't have enough information. The investigation is well underway. We have no idea what's going on, which is as it should be. I also see a lot of people complaining that they don't know every single thing up to and including what the detective had for breakfast about every single case that comes along. Nothing personal. Until the investigation is concluded, it's none of your business. None. What, you want the police to come out and announce every piece of evidence they have, every suspicion they might hold, every single thing they might think, and spook anybody that they could wind up arresting into running instead? You think that's a brilliant idea, huh? Well, glad you're not in law enforcement. There's a reason why you keep the details of an investigation under wraps until arrests have been made. And that's what's happening here. So we don't know a lot. Then it just happened, 14 hours ago. So we have to give it a minute. If I had to guess, I have spoken to no one, by the way, involved in this case, and law enforcement, nothing. I've spoken to no one since this happened last night. Just knowing how this works, I guarantee you they've got some suspicions. They've got an idea of where to start looking. Saw a guy yesterday. So, as you may or may not have noticed, I wasn't here. Had to go out of town. Had some business. Got wrapped up with that. Stopped off at a department store on the way home. I'm standing in line. We've got our two little purchases, literally two little things. Standing in line behind this older gentleman and his wife who was buying a couple of canisters of protein powder. No, I don't know why. He was in his 70s, but that's his business. I don't care. His money, maybe he's sprinkling in the garden. Who knows? He could be he showed no physical evidence of being a big workout buff, but maybe so. Maybe he's working his ankles. I don't know. Standing there, and they had this promotion going on where you could buy one and get one for, it was either free or half off. But you had to use this chain's app and scan it in to get it. Well, he didn't have the app, didn't know anything about it. She rang it up, and it was two of them at full price, and he came unglued. He did. That's false advertisement. That's horrible. I'm calling my attorney. Literally, he said that. I'm going to go back there and take a picture of that sign, and I'm going to call my attorney, and we're going to see about this, because you ain't going to rip me off like this. And then he went ahead and paid for his stuff anyway and wandered out the door. Wife in tow. That's what everybody sounds like while they're running around screaming, "Lock 'em up!" That's exactly what you sound like. That's exactly what it looks like. In a perfect world, we would have room to lock up all the bad guys and the resources and the manpower and law enforcement to lock up every single one, to catch all of them right in the middle of committing acts and get them in jail and get them off the streets. And you are silly if you think there wouldn't be another wave right behind them to replace them. You want more people locked up? We need more jail. If we need more jail, well, that's going to take more taxes. You don't want to pay more taxes. So we're done. There's nothing else to talk about, is there? The 19-year-olds will just keep shooting each other, I guess, because we can't get past that one landlocked mindset. What are the answers? Nobody knows. You know why? We're not even having the conversation about trying to find the answers. And until we do, we won't. Hate to hear it. Hate to see it. But we have to deal with life as it exists right now. And we're not.
Ladies, your health is your priority, and the Women's Health Center in McComb is here to support you. We're thrilled to announce the return of Dr. Ann Vu. Dr. Vu joins our dedicated team, including Dr. Kevin Richardson, nurse practitioner Shayla Stanberry, and midwife Tara Givens. From routine checkups to specialized care, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Schedule your appointment today. Visit us at 1318 Harrison Avenue or call 601-684-2300. The Women's Health Center, where your well-being comes first.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Southern Metal Works, Toyota of Brookhaven, Burton Tree Service, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Health, Peterbilt of McComb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple are just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Welcome back. Mose with a good thought. Says there are probably people in jail that could be on house arrest. That would clear up some space. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's the kind of things we've got to think about, though, to make progress with this problem. Because it's not practical to just throw everybody in jail and move on. And it's also, what do we go by here on the show? What do you and I go by? Results. Is it working? Has it been working? Again, not that terribly long ago, we had more people in the jail than the jail was built to hold. We were literally locking up more people than we had room for. Did that help? Crime's all gone now. No, it's not. So if you go by results, that's not a plan. We got to have the conversation and discuss it. Wanted to change tacks completely here because there's something I want to make sure to give a little attention to. Coming up on October 28th, St. Andrew's Mission in McComb, they're having 2 free medical clinics. One in the morning for walk-ins from 9 to 11. And then they're going to have one in the evening starting at 5 by appointment only. Uninsured patients 18 and over, they're not going to write any prescriptions for any kind of controlled substances or anything. That's not what this is about. This is a great thing. I like this. It's coming up October 28th. You can find out more information about it at 601-250-6830. St. Andrew's Mission has been doing an incredible job in McComb and Pike County for a long, long time, and this is just another example of the kind of thing they do. Want to make sure everybody knows about this. We'll talk about it again as we get closer, but I wanted to put it on your radar right now. If you don't need it, fine. If you know someone who might make some use of it, though, spread the word to them. Totally free. Not asking for money in any way. And I say that there may be a charge, but this is a great way to help people. I don't think there is, but I'll find out on that. It's just another fantastic thing being done by some fantastic people in McComb and in Pike County, and we need more of that. We need a lot more of that. Because that's good stuff. I was having a conversation yesterday with someone that doesn't live here. Phone call about the roundabout in Summit. And one of the comments that I've seen is from people about the roundabout they're putting in Summit, wondering how trucks are going to be able to make those curves in the roundabout because they're kind of tight. Oh, this person told me they had a very similar situation where they live. It's several states away, where they put in a roundabout nobody wanted. And it was in a spot that had a lot of 18-wheeler traffic. They said what happened was pretty simple. The 18-wheelers just started driving over the round part in the middle, the grass. They just started driving over the middle of it and keeping on going straight. That's how they dealt with it. Then they started putting things in that little round median area to try to stop them. Barricades and, beautification items, telephone poles, and all kinds of stuff. And they said that the truckers just drove over those two, and eventually they gave up because they couldn't navigate it. Hopefully it won't come to that here. Hopefully. As you can tell, I am filled with confidence that that's the way it's going to go. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. This is going to work out great. I'm trying to put together a little portable PA system so that I can be out there playing the Dukes of Hazzard theme on repeat the first couple of days that they open, just because I think it would be nice ambiance for when they finally figure out how curbs work and get them completed. Well, hey, nothing I can do. All we can do is sit here and go along for the ride. And most days it is a stupid ride, it seems. And it's getting dumber with every day that goes by. By the way, have you checked on your property tax increase yet? It's coming. It's there. It's waiting for you. Down at the courthouse. Which county? Yes. All of them. Go check and see what your taxes are going to be. The general consensus that I've heard, between 15 and 20% property taxes have gone up because you only think you own your property. You're not allowed to pay it off and just own it. Oh, no. Then you have to pay rent every year to keep your property, or they'll just take it away. And you wonder why everyone is just throwing their hands up in the air and feel like they can't get ahead. There is always somebody waiting to kneecap you, right? So go check. It's a significant increase for a lot of folks in the property taxes that they will be paying in January. But don't worry, everybody's going to fix it with the millage next year. That means that bill that you might not be able to pay this year, well, go ahead and pay it. And then we'll take care of it and make it a little better a year from now. What part of can't pay it is confusing there. But again, here we are. Tonight, we have a meeting of the McComb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen. It's not actually a meeting, it's a work session. First Tuesday of the month, so it's a work session. Next week will be an actual voting meeting, as they call it. Well, as I call it, I don't think anybody else calls it that. We're going to look at the agenda here. Number 1, city sewer line and fire hydrant replacement. Going to discuss that. On that note, I got one item in before I'm going off in another direction. It's that kind of day. On that note, if you've been keeping up with this on Facebook, the city of Magnolia had a sewer problem. Last week, they announced there was a sewer problem, and they were working on it. Yesterday, the new mayor, Mayor Brumfield, put out that they had installed brand new pumps to alleviate or fix the problem. It's like a week. A week from just wanted to let you know we have this problem to it's fixed. That's good work. You have seen the months and months and months of debate and dragging along trying to get things fixed in the city of McComb. Magnolia took a week. Proof, by the way, it can be done. Yes, I know it's a smaller municipality. Yes, I know it's a different situation. Yes, I know raw sewage in the ditch smells the same no matter how many people live around you in the town that you're in. So, want to just jump in there and brag on the city of Magnolia and the new mayor and board of selectmen, who are just, from everything I've seen so far, they are knocking it out of the park. And trying to clean up the park. I mean, it's good stuff going on down there. I'll talk more about that another day. I'd like to get the mayor in here. I'm going to try to get him in here so we can talk about what's happening in Magnolia, what he's doing, because there's great stuff happening down there. And we like to talk about great stuff when it happens. Anyway, they're going to talk about city sewer line and fire hydrant replacement in McComb. Harry Jones wants to talk to the board about that, or is going to talk to the board about that. Alton Ward wants to talk about putting a fence around the ice machine on Delaware. Okay. We could also teach people to drive. We got some real bad drivers. Item number 3, Garrett Smith, few invoices. The citywide mill and overlay, Delaware Avenue water and sewer, and a couple of Donna Heights invoices. All of those, good stuff, good work. So we shall just be paying those and moving on with a smile on our face because we got some good. Have you been down Delaware? Have you been down Marion? Oh, that's nice. So, yes, that is an effective use of taxpayer dollars. They got a result. It's visible. It's right there. The only people upset about what happened with Delaware and Marion are the people that repair front ends. Their business may go down slightly. Front end alignment might not be as necessary if people, but trust me, we have plenty of other streets in McComb. They'll be fine. Item number 4, pickup drop-off location for Greyhound. Selectwoman Isaac wants to discuss that tonight. Once upon a time, we had the bus station down there on Broadway. And that bus station ran forever. And then eventually got closed down because it wasn't getting a ton of usage. They had budget cuts in the bus lines, as they did everywhere with everything. And it just wasn't a good idea. Wants a pickup drop-off location for Greyhound, which is just throw this out here. For a bus line, a location to pick up and drop off people that's called a bus station. We could have just put bus station down there on the agenda. That's a bus station. People get on, people get off at the bus station. Just interesting choice of wording. It doesn't have to be a full station. What else do you think's at a bus station? Unless you just want a wide space in a parking lot, in which case, I don't know if I'm on board with that idea. It needs to be a little bit better than that. We need to have something. But that's kind of up to the bus line, isn't it? I'm just thinking out loud here. We'll see how the discussion goes tonight. Not saying it's a bad idea. Not saying it's not needed. Far from it. I'm just saying, as usual, there are 2 ways to do anything. There are 2 ways to accomplish goals. The right way and the McComb City Board way, it seems. I'd just like to try the right way for once and see what happens. Who knows? We might be pleasantly surprised. Item number 5. Selectman Thompson has a few items. Wants an update on the installation of fire hydrants, an update on the gas line on Monroe, and a replacement of the culvert on McComb Street. All of those wonderful thing. I love it when I hear select people asking for updates on projects. That is an appropriate part of their job while they're sitting around that boardroom table. Yes. Where are we at on this? How's this going? Are we doing this? That's fantastic. Item number 6. Here's where the screaming will happen, by the way, in case you're curious. Every single agenda we get, there's one item. Sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere, and we wind up with a 30-minute, loudly intoned conversation about a topic, and we didn't see it coming. This one, you can kind of see coming, considering that we had another resignation from the McComb School Board. And as part of that resignation, basically called out the school board for being, well, to put it in my own words, severely dysfunctional, is what was described. Selectman Cotting wants to discuss school board appointment. I'm sure this will be a very calm, very rational conversation. The over-under for Selectwoman at Large Tabitha Felder Isaac saying, "I'm just asking questions," is 19 for this conversation, for this item. Not for the whole meeting. That's pretty common. Just for this one item, 19 is the over-under on that. So it'll be interesting to see what is said in that conversation. The City Attorney Collins got a couple of things, the interlocal agreement and the train depot lease wants to discuss. There were some questions and some clarifications brought up on the train depot lease. She's been working on that, and she's going to present the fruits of her labor at tonight's work session. Mayor Lockley has, 8 items? It's all under the same number on the agenda. It's which perfect way to do it. Item 9, A, B, C, D. Salvation Kettle sponsorship program wants to talk about. C-Spire fiber optic cable. We'd like more now, please. Thank you. 3 invoices from Horn. Pay them. The playtime is over with the books in McComb and what we have to do to get them straight. You just write checks for those, which he's just presenting them to the board. That's part of his job. Just because it's on here doesn't mean there's an issue. Just presenting the invoices so they know what they're going to be voting on next week. But, let's not monkey around with Horn. Let's just write the checks, pay them, move on. Schmidt sweeping and lawn contract, J. Riley Collins consulting invoice, establishing a temporary executive committee for the election coming up. Whatever. I feel like we're shooting dice in the dark every time we have an election at this point anyway. What did I roll? Not sure yet. G, under item 9, is an invoice from Cox Architecture. And then the Pike County Chamber annual legislative lunch coming up this Thursday. And then after that, monthly business reviews. As I've said before, you get some good information out of those business reviews every so often. You get some information that is good for the public to have. That was a good idea. I believe Selectman Cotting is the one that suggested that back at the beginning of this term. That was a good suggestion. It takes time, yeah. The average work session runs about 2 hours. A little bit less, about 150 to 2 hours. It's a bit much, but as someone who is a veteran of the days when board meetings in McComb took over 4 hours on a regular basis, 2 hours is nothing. So, yeah, doing good work, getting good results, I think, from those business reviews. That was a good idea. Keep going with that. That's your agenda for tonight's work session of the McComb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen. If you didn't hear anything on there that interested you or that you believe you need to find out more about, well, I could read it again, but not sure that's going to help if that's the case. All right. As part of my ongoing, never-ending battle for truth, justice, and letting you know that there are stupid people doing mean stuff trying to get your money, most of it on your phone now. Got another story to relate. Do that next.
Cause it's about to get heavy. It's about to be hard. It's laying down. So nobody move. Cause I was sent to warn you. The devil's in the next room.
Dr. Patrick Daigle is now seeing patients at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. While his location has changed from the Women's Health Center, Dr. Daigle's commitment to exceptional care remains stronger than ever. You'll find the same trusted care now at a new location within the Southwest Health Network. Dr. Daigle and Dr. James Nobles providing comprehensive women's health services at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. Same trusted care, new location, 205 Marion Avenue in McComb, or call 601-250-4275.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Southern Metalworks, Toyota of Brookhaven, Burton Tree Service, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Health, Peterbilt of McComb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
One day and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside the
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County 93.5. Dave Hughes here. All right, so someone else, this time Lawrence County. Sheriff's Department there reporting that someone is calling around referring to themselves as a deputy. Deputy Lewis. Nobody knows who that is. Called someone, told them they owed $4,500 for contempt of court and $4,500 for failure to appear for federal jury duty. The person that was receiving that call said, "Well, I'm gonna call the sheriff's office and get this sorted out." Ryan Everett, the sheriff in Lawrence County, that's who was posting this, by the way. So I'm gonna call the sheriff. I know him. I'm gonna get this sorted out, and the scammer hung up. Had a story not too long ago, and they work on fear, sympathy, and empathy. Most of the scammers, mainly fear. It was a story a week or two ago of a woman in China, 81 years old, who was scammed out of a ton of money from someone that got a hold of her on Facebook and explained to her that he was an astronaut in space on the space station and he was running out of air and he needed money to buy more air. Now, you may hear that and laugh. She sent the money. That's happening everywhere, all day, every day. I have lost track of the number of times. I've got several just the other day wanting to know if I was going to be home for delivery of important legal documents or to be served. They don't call you. They don't call you. They don't schedule an appointment. It's not how any of that works. So, anybody that calls you and says you have a fine or you have a warrant or you have legal documents that must be delivered, just hang up and block the number. Next, they don't call for that. They know where you live. It's on your driver's license. They can look it right up, and then they come see you if there's a problem. They don't call to discuss it in advance. It's that simple. That's just a scammer trying to get you to agree to pay your federal jury duty failure to appear fine using Bitcoin or Apple gift cards over the phone. How many times have I said, when you're scared, when you're angry, when you're upset, you are far easier to control. That applies to the national media that applies to scammers. They want you scared. They want you terrified, because then it's a lot easier to get you to do what they want you to do, and it's always for their benefit, not yours. Remember that. Filter the news through that, and you'll have a different outlook on life and probably an easier time of it, too. By the way, astronauts take their own air with them. They are provided air. Don't even have to pay for it. They get paid to be there, breathing the air provided for them, in case somebody reaches out to you with that ridiculous idea. There are scammers as thick as weeds out there right now. A lot of it due to the internet. Not all of it, but a lot. This was just a phone call. Had nothing to do with the internet. Before you start screaming about these darn phones and these kids and that social media, no, this was a phone call. Hello? And went right down the path. So no, that's not a total solution. I also know that because, well, scams have been going on for centuries. We have not had the internet and social media for centuries. So don't trick yourself into thinking that's the cause of the problem. It makes it easier for them, yeah. But the problem exists, and we have to deal with it as it is. One thing that I want to make sure that I give a little shout out to, Southwest Stage Band. We're going to have them on. Southwest Stage Band getting ready for their big Christmas show that they do every year. And I'm not going to say it's part of the Christmas show, but kind of it is. They have announced that they are headed to Washington in December. The Southwest Mississippi Community College Stage Band has been invited to perform at the White House for Christmas. Man, they're good. You can't even argue with it. That's not an invitation that gets handed out like free candy at Halloween. Not just everybody gets an invitation to do that. So absolutely fantastic. Great job. As I said, we're going to get them in here so that we can talk more about it. That is a major accomplishment. That's a big deal.
Closing time. Open
Gotta love
doors
it.
And let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the
Well,
lights on over every boy and every girl.
As you know, some days I do a What Have We Learned Today at the end of the show. Unfortunately, I feel fairly confident that today we didn't learn anything. It's a little depressing, but that's okay. Tomorrow morning, we'll back up so we can get a running start at it and try to change that. Have a wonderful day, will you? As soon as somebody or something starts getting you mad or getting you scared, turn it off. Ignore it in your mind. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06, my friend. I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.